you want to hear my construction sounds?
Sure. What?
What's up?
Okay, you can start whenever you want.
Yeah, I know. We're almost done.
Is this a bit? Is this a thing that you're doing?
You like it?
Wow.
I think it's ready.
Okay.
This is On Air with... Oh, jeez. This is Almost On Air with Erica and Jon.
Yeah. Welcome back. Welcome to an episode of Almost On Air. This is Erica. I am Jon, and we are so happy to be back with you guys today.
I'm sorry. When you say, this is Erica, I am Jon, it sounds like you're claiming both for yourself. You're like, this is Erica,
I feel like,
I'm Jon.
well, what should I say?
I think you should say, that's Erica.
Should I say this? And then you could say, like, is Erica.
No, I think, guys, clearly we haven't finished the construction process.
We haven't podcasted in like at least a month and a half, so we're very rusty.
Not a month and a half. It's been like 3 weeks.
Holy, that's it?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I really feel like we haven't done this since like 2020.
No. We've done episodes in the new year. Yeah, I think you should say like, that's Erica, I'm Jon.
That's Erica. But
That's
they can't see me say
Erica.
that.
What?
That's Erica. Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. Because if I said this, it's like,
The person.
this chick right here next to me is
Right.
Erica.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if
So,
I like that.
Right.
Oh,
right,
should we do it again?
Do you actually want to redo it?
No.
Oh. Wow, guys. Well, we're back. So
Yeah, dude.
we have some new things.
We're happy to be back. We've gotten a lot of questions as just asking us, how come you guys rebranded? Why'd you guys leave? And we're here to answer those questions for you. We ignored some of your DMs asking those because we were like,
They'll know
we're
eventually.
literally going to be on a podcast talking about it.
Also, we make it seem like there was some sort of weird business deal or like something that we had to clear out. Like, no,
Wait,
no one's paying
imagine.
us money still. It's all good.
Oh my God. Like all that Call Her Daddy drama. There was like a big suit that offered you money
Yes.
to take the podcast
Right.
and all the rights.
None
but I
of
was
this
like,
happened.
No, and
We
yeah,
rebranded.
unfortunately.
I think for me, I needed like a mental reset.
that's fair.
For
And
the show, we felt like we could just do more.
Yeah, I feel like in the beginning we were amateur podcasters, right?
Mhm.
We were just like very excited to podcast. When we started this podcast, I was very new to working with the Seacrest show, and I was just
Yeah.
very excited to like start something with you. And we kind of just like anything that we needed to get done for the podcast, we took the very first rough draft and ran with it.
Totally.
I remember when we were looking for our logo, we took it to the like the digital guy, and we were like, "Hey, this is kind of what we had in mind." And he gave us this logo, and he was like, "Hey, do you guys want it kind of like this?"
And we were just
like,
yes.
"That's it. We'll take it." He was like, "No, guys, this was like my rough draft. I was not
know.
trying to even give you guys this is your final answer." And we were just like, "No, that'll work."
I mean,
Like, we'll take
it was great, and it was like season 1. You know,
It was
like
season
it was
1.
like the pilot season of a show.
And I'm gonna be honest, I just like honesty hour right here, hot take. I didn't like the light blue. I'd never liked it.
And you were the one editing all the graphics, so
Yeah,
you must
and
have
it,
wanted
like,
to
honestly,
die.
Upset me. And we had this like note card, which was like pretty chill with red writing, and red just doesn't go with light blue. And I feel like the idea was there, but it just like it wasn't hitting for me, you know?
Wow. Now it hits.
So now it hits. So we're back with season 2. We have more creative freedom here. And I just think we've moved from beginner to intermediate podcaster. What's up?
Yeah, and I want to shout Jon out for real because I feel like
Wow.
I was a lot of and this is really how I function at work too, I think, is like I'm a lot of the like, these are my ideas, and then you were like, I got it. Like, I can do it. And then you were sending me stuff, and I was like, he literally took my brain and made it real. So
You see, that's amazing. Thank you for that, because I feel like that is exactly what you do for me. Because I tell Erica all the time, she's a great producer.
Thank you.
So behind the scenes information here. And I feel like she's really good at writing and wording things. Like, I
Oh.
don't know if that's just like the years of producing you've been doing.
probably.
So when I know something that I want to say, Erica just like puts it into words, and it's perfect. When we're writing all the bios for all these podcasts that go up on like the podcast sites, I've never written like a single one. Maybe I've done
I
one.
was like, you've probably written one.
Yeah,
when I've been,
and
like,
you just
gone or
write all of
something.
them. You know exactly what's going on. And then when it came to our Instagram bio, I was like, all right, we need a new bio. What should it be? And you just like came up with it on the spot like that.
Well, we're 2 peas in a pod. We are the
2
yin
peas.
and the yang.
The yin and the intermediate yang.
The other big thing that you're obviously probably saw this week, and you're going to see more, is that we're going to be using, we're really just abusing our listeners, and just picking their brains every week. And did someone just walk in your room?
Yeah. Did
That
you see
was
that?
horrifying. I saw them.
He's been in my room this entire podcast
I
since
saw
we
them
started.
in the reflection in your TV, and I literally thought I saw a ghost.
Yeah, I think it's my roommate Bradley. I think he's looking for our cat Hopper, and usually it chills with me every morning. So I think it was just like scrolling through my room, seeing if he could find the cat.
Wow.
Not in
Anyway,
here though. Breaking news.
sorry, that was horrifying. But yeah, so basically we decided like, okay, we got John, we got Erica. Our listeners are now our third mic. So expect questions, polls, all of that every week.
Yeah, we wanted to build like a podcast that's just like more, this is going to sound so cheesy, but like community based, you know, where we could just like kind of take people's answers and not just talk about what we think the entire time. So I'm pretty pumped about that. And the show we have today is like a pretty good, great example. I'm pretty excited to get into like the things we have.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I feel like Erica and I are just running a podcast of people who we probably would self-define as almost successful, you know?
Yes.
Like we're not quite there yet. You know, we love our jobs. You know, we're in a place that we're proud of, but I don't think that we're at the place we are looking to be quite yet.
I agree.
We'll
Yeah.
get into a little bit more on this topic later, but we just wanted to base this podcast around being comfortable, not being quite there yet. Like, I feel like that's the theme of our podcast going forward.
You are probably more comfortable with that than I am.
Yeah,
So-
I'm honestly like swimming in it. right
Yeah,
now, like
yeah. I'm
backstrokes.
still like, I don't like the way this feels. So
And that's fair. I feel like that's the point of doing this.
Yeah.
You know, because I want to get you backstroking in the pool of uncomfortability with me.
I was never a good swimmer. So
And
maybe
you
we'll
learn.
start with
You just-
doggy paddle. Let's
we're going
doggy
to throw
paddle.
you in the deep end and you're going to figure it out or you're going to drown. And you're probably drowning for a little bit, but
No, I'm not going
I'll
to
pull you out.
drown. I'll just literally be like floundering a little.
that's fair.
Cool.
Okay, I like that.
The first thing that we do have, though, totally not on this topic, we just wanted to join in on the Instagram fun and do the assumptions.
Yeah, I feel like this is great too because hopefully a lot of you guys are coming back and listening to us from before.
Right.
But then hopefully we're attracting some new listeners.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to tell you about ourselves. So what better way than
Very
to let you guys
boring.
make some assumptions about us, and
Yeah.
then hopefully you can we can judge whether or not they're right.
Yeah. I'm going to go first. So we'll go back and forth. I'll read one about you. You answer it. Then you read one about me, okay?
One each?
Yeah, we'll go
Okay, I'm pumped.
one
Let's do
and
it.
one, okay?
Okay, so you're going to read one about me first.
Yeah, sorry. I'm coming in hot with this first one.
Whoa.
He has
Oh,
not
God.
taken pictures of his ex down from those frames above his bed.
Wow.
Sorry, I didn't realize
This
I
is
put
like-
that number one on my list, but
There was no holding back
No.
with me here, was there?
well,
That's kind of that's dope. I was glad to be roasted a little bit,
Mhm.
but I will say
Wrong.
that's actually factually inaccurate. Above my bed, there's like a 3-piece astronaut, I guess, like mural kind of thing.
I did not know it was an
So
astronaut.
I don't know
mural.
who this was, but I think the reason behind that was when I posted this assumptions thing, I used a super old picture
Yes.
of me podcasting. And this was from summer of last year. And yes, behind my bed, there was a picture of me and my, at the time, girlfriend. However, for my birthday in November, my sister got me a new wall piece and it's been there since November. So
Okay, so
I'll post a picture on Instagram, you know?
yeah, you should get a new
Okay.
get a new
I'll
view
go to you
of
first now.
the bed. Yes.
Okay, so first assumption about Erica is that Erica drives a small crossover / SUV. True or false?
John, I don't know what a crossover SUV is.
A mom car.
False, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, I drive a little black Jetta,
Which I feel like also fits you.
which is it's like the mom car of 20 somethings.
The mom car of 20-somethings.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Next up for John, you don't ever cry.
I would like to believe that, but
Wow, people are just wrong.
yeah, dude, my sister got engaged this year. Like there was no holding back tears.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, whoever assumed this, and I know who it was, they've listened to the podcast. They know what you've been going through. How did they think
Yeah.
you haven't been crying?
Also, I recently watched that movie, It's About Time. Have you seen that? Dude. How
About
do you
time,
not
not
cry
just
in that
it's
movie?
about time.
It's called It's About Time. It's got Rachel McAdams in it and some
I
like
thought it was
skinny
just
Ed
called
Sheeran
about
looking
time.
red hair dude. Wait. Maybe it is.
Maybe.
Anyways, don't cry in that movie. I'll Venmo you $5.
Okay. Oh, your
Okay,
turn.
your turn. Let's see. Erica is either really in or really out for people, work, or social causes.
Or social causes.
Yes, you're either really in or you're really out when it comes to people, work, or social causes.
Dang, that's probably true.
Nice.
I think I'm a pretty like passionate person, whichever way it leans.
I would agree with that. I would agree.
Yeah. So
Hit me.
this one was actually from my mother, and she
Nice,
said
Dina.
he keeps Erica in line.
I keep Erica in line?
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, no way.
I feel like if anything, Erica keeps me in line. Wait, I feel like I keep you from falling off the edge. Oh, okay, I got it. All right.
Okay.
So, if you and I were like bowling balls, okay?
Okay.
I feel like you are the gutter, and you keep. This sounds terrible.
Okay. Yeah.
But you
this is
keep
not
me
a good
in a very.
metaphor.
Yeah, because I fall off the edge, but at least you keep me in a straight line, and I can't really.
No, so
stray
I'm the
because-
bumpers.
No.
Hmm.
You're the gutter because you keep me in a straight line. I think I am the bumpers in your bowling ball because you bounce back and forth a lot, and I'm just like trying to keep you from falling off the edge.
Like
you
from
know?
like having an emotional breakdown at all times.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay, I see your metaphor. I don't appreciate being the
Nice.
gutter, but I understand. I'm the thing
wish there
that
were a
makes
better
you
word.
want to steer towards the middle.
Yeah, but I've already fallen off. We're not going anywhere good. You know, you just.
You're just in the gutter,
I'm just in
and
the
I
gutter,
am
and
the
you're just
groove.
like keeping me in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whose turn is it? Mine?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Wait. Okay. So this person, I loved this one so
I'm
much.
kind of nervous. Anyway.
So this person says, "You're secretly the voice that says all the taglines for Kiss FM. You guys literally sound so alike."
No, but thank you.
Wait. So say 102.7 Kiss FM.
Now that you've asked me to do that, I can't do it.
No, you got to do it. You got to do it.
Like in a fun, spunky voice, or like in my normal
Yeah.
voice.
And you're doing this for the radio voice.
102.7 Kiss FM.
102.7 Kiss FM.
I mean,
You know what though? That girl probably makes a lot of money. So if
Dude.
Kiss ever wants to hire me, and I'm down. I mean,
Yeah,
they
I mean-
have hired me, but for that as well.
the boy version of that made the intro to this podcast. So
That's
shout out to
true.
Miles. It's
Shout
just
out to Miles.
fantastic work there.
So good.
Your turn.
John is a casual but really sensitive person.
Lower your voice, whoever that is.
John is a casual but really sensitive person.
Yeah.
I think your sensitivity has shown a lot more in the last year than before.
Nice. Thank you. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to be a little bit more sensitive and not so cold all the time, you know?
I think it's working.
Thank you. All right, your turn. Erica has a live-in boyfriend. She's just not telling us about it yet.
Guys, I almost wish. Like,
Show us under your bed right now.
I can't move things around or this entire ship will crumble.
Sus.
But I
Super
promise you,
sus.
I do not have a live-in boyfriend. I have a male roommate currently.
Oh,
And maybe that's what people are thinking, but that's my other roommate's boyfriend. Is not my boyfriend.
also, aren't you moving back home soon?
I am going to be moving to my mom's for like a couple months.
Nice. So is your move-in boyfriend going to move into your mom's house with you?
No, because I don't have a live-in boyfriend or boyfriend at all. Actually, I'd like to make that clear.
I mean, the live-in part was the
The
funniest to
live-in
me.
part is wild.
Like
I
he's
wish
been
I
living
could
with you
keep.
this whole time and just no one knows.
Yeah,
about
like
it.
what? Do you guys really think I'm that good of a secret keeper? Thank you.
Honestly. Okay.
Next
hit
up,
me.
John loves his friends, beer, sports, and having fun.
Fact check. True. Easy
True
peasy.
AF. Yep.
All right, Erica. I've always assumed she murders all of her boyfriends, and that's why she's still single.
What the
That's
heck?
real.
Is
That's
this someone
real
I
right there.
know, like personally?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. That makes me feel a little better.
I trust him. I trust every word he says.
Never murdered anyone. Never hurt anyone. I don't think I've laid
Hmm.
a hand on any man that I've dated. So
So you're saying that's false?
I'm saying that's super false. Yeah.
Okay. I'll take
Yep.
it. I'll take it. Hit me.
He uses a woman's razor. Is this true?
Okay, I'd like to be very clear about this. All right, I'd like to be very clear. I don't always use a women's razor. I am currently using a woman's razor because I just don't discriminate razors, and I just happen to have a woman's razor fall upon myself for free. But like, I'm not actively buying women's razors. I
Okay.
normally use men's razors.
Sure.
I just got a free women's razor, and I'm using it. It's great.
Great.
You guys have amazing razors.
Is this for your face?
Next question.
Oh my god, I'm so uncomfortable. You can go ahead and change the subject.
Don't ask questions you don't want answers to.
I thought the answer would be yes.
This is season 2. We are not holding back.
Okay, go ahead.
Where am I? Okay. Erica would go on The Bachelor if asked.
Immediately,
false?
as long as I wasn't in a relationship. But
Nice.
yes.
I feel like you'd kill it on The Bachelor.
I'd always be afraid of becoming the villain. And you know, with my mouth, like.
Yeah. Oh no, like you could not keep her cool, but that would make great TV.
Would be excellent TV. Let's do it. Rob Mills,
100%.
listen up. John's an idiot.
I mean, what's up, dude? Next question. Let's see. Erica is way more serious about life than Jon, but sometimes a bit too worried.
That's probably true.
I would say it's true.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, and I have deep crippling anxiety, so the too worried is spot on. This is my second to last one. I assume he's going to the moon.
That had to have been one of my roommates.
Yeah, I think it was Esteban.
Yeah, I was literally one of those guys you see when that GameStop thing was the GameStop stock was like taken off last week.
Yes.
I was the guy who put in $20 but acted like this was my movement. You know? I was like, we have to hold the line. We are going to the moon.
You are too much. Also, you're like obsessed with the idea of actually going to space. So
yeah, 100%. We'll see. That's why 100%. Yeah, I'm actually going to go to space one day.
Cool.
But I still got money in Dogecoin and I'm not pulling out. So
good for
I'll be rich one day.
Great. Then you can pay for all this.
Yep. So your next one. Okay, so I don't understand this one and I'm hoping that you do. It just says bats.
I saw this come in and I was like, John's going to pick it.
I feel like I had to. Like I needed to know what this is about.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're just going to go there. It means big, explicitive, other word for boobs. And this came in from Megan, right? My best friend.
Yeah.
So,
Hundo P.
One day it was right after prom. We were looking through prom photos. Literally, this is like 10 years ago in high school.
Okay.
And suddenly we looked at this photo of me and we were like, oh my God, Erica got large boobs. Like suddenly we realized that in my prom dress, my boobs looked very large. And since then, they have always made references to my bats. So
nice.
Good times. Wow. Thanks,
I mean,
Megan.
it's not a negative.
No, I mean, it's
your
just a thing. Okay, I have a bonus one for you. And this is when I think I texted you and said, I'm screaming. So it says, to you, Jon, you could low-key make it work with Erica now that you're single. I'm waiting for your sound effect because deep pass.
Wait, Erica, I want to preface. There it is. I want to preface this with the fact that I do love you. Like, very, very much. However, I think if we were ever to actually date, we would kill each other. And not like the fun, cute, like,
no.
Oh, we'd kill each other. Like,
murder.
One of us would be in prison.
Cold-blooded murder.
Yeah, like, it would not be funny. We'd be that couple that's like, bro, they should have broken up years ago.
And I don't know who would murder who first. It's the scary
that's
thing.
what I'm thinking. I feel like you'd have to murder me. I don't know if I'd care enough about anything to, like,
there's
commit
always
murder.
that. I laughed so hard when I saw this, and I was like, if someone actually believes that, they are out of their whack minds. So, sorry.
I mean, it's pretty funny, though.
It is.
So you have a bonus one, too, and it just says, she's fun. And I'm just going to give you a correct on that.
Oh,
I didn't want to ignore it because it was your mom. And, like, I'm just not going to ignore your mom. I'm sorry. We had to put it in there. You know?
Dina,
What's
she's
up, Dina?
so
Thanks for
cute.
listening.
I love her participating.
Me too. Me too.
Very adorable.
So those were our assumptions.
Yeah, those were our assumptions.
Hopefully that lets you get to know us just the slightest bit better.
Yeah. And one thing really quick, we used to every episode go through pitches, and we'll still be doing some of that. But in the sake of time, we just have one today. And you know that it is about free beer.
Yeah, baby.
It's Miller Lite, right? Now that I'm talking, I've forgotten.
It sure is. It sure is.
Miller Lite is trying to prove to you that the 1 calorie difference between them and one other brand. Look how prepped I am. Not at all.
Wait, can I take you back for just a second here?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is like a reoccurring segment on our podcast.
Right.
We like to, anytime there's free beer in the world, we like to bring it to you guys, so we can just share the wealth. We can all get drunk together, and like, what better than that?
Of course.
So I decided if we're going to bring this up all the time, we need like a free beer tagline, like an intro.
Oh my God.
All right. So next time we bring up the free beer, dude, we'd get into it.
I liked beer.
Wow.
I still like beer.
Tell me that's not great.
That's excellent work, Jon.
Tell me that doesn't make you want to go out right now and drink a beer.
I really do want to. And it's Thursday and I haven't, well, this week I drank on a couple weekdays, but I haven't really been drinking on the weekdays, and Thursdays are when I let myself drink. So let's ride. But basically this free beer, all you have to do is type this extremely crazy URL into the browser at a certain time. And then if you do it and you're one of the first 5,000.
5,000.
Yeah. Look how well I am so unaware. If you're one of the first 5,000 people to type the URL correctly, then you get what, $8?
Yeah, you get $8 to go buy yourself a 6-pack.
Yeah, so that's legit. And I think, John, you have audio of the commercial for this?
I do. So my favorite part about this is just like the pettiness of Miller Lite. Like just so petty. So I guess there's this long rivalry between Miller Lite and Michelob Ultra, right? Like first of all, when's the last time anyone bought a Michelob Ultra?
Honestly, my sister kind of drinks them, so.
Nice. Okay. Well, good for her.
Yeah.
So they have this feud going on because Michelob Ultra has like 95 calories and Miller Lite has 96.
Right. Okay.
So Michelob's like, yo, we are the better beer. We have one less calorie. That's better for you. And Miller Lite's like, no, it's worth the one extra calorie. It is not hard to burn that one extra calorie. We can prove it to you.
Right.
So then they decided that during Michelob Ultra's Super Bowl ad, if you don't pay attention to the ad, and when that ad starts, you type in a long URL into your search browser, you'll get free Miller Lite because you will have burned that 1 calorie typing in that extremely long URL.
Yes.
And they're not giving it to you because they don't want you to copy and paste it because they want you to actually burn the calorie.
Right, I was saying it's nowhere typed out because unless it's on like a PDF kind of image so that you can't copy
so
and
there's
paste.
a video of it, and this is legitimately, every word of this is the URL you have to type in.
www.this Miller Lite marketing stunt will distract you from Ultra's big game ad.com/ just type in this URL when the Michelob Ultra commercial airs on that sacred Sunday in February when everyone is watching football, and we will give you free Miller Lite, which not only has more taste than Michelob Ultra but also has only 1 more calorie, and you will actually burn that calorie by typing this ridiculously long URL, but you will have to type it for real. No cheating by copying and pasting, which is why we are printing this URL in a good old-fashioned newspaper of the highest integrity. Yes, we are aware that there's bound to be some technology that exists that could transcribe a photo back into highlightable text, in which case you could cheat and copy and paste this URL, but we're going to trust you because good relationships are built on trust. So once again, please type this URL on February 7th because this is a stunt designed to make you miss our competitors' ad, burn a calorie, and get free beer. It's Miller time.
Incredible.
Petty.
That
Just
is
like, so
the
petty.
Super Bowl commercial that we would create.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Like just like
free beer and
just to
petty
like mess
and funny.
with somebody. Just free beer and petty. This
Someday.
is why, like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, Coors is my favorite beer, but I feel like Miller Lite is just the official beer of this podcast. You know?
Yeah, Miller Lite
Anytime-
is what I generally. My roommates like Miller Lite, so it's what I drink if I'm like buying a lot of beer at once.
Which is like fun.
Yeah, which is fun. Ugh.
Yeah. So I feel like if we, excuse me.
Whoa.
If we ever, I don't know, coffee just came back out of me. So if we ever decide to host any kind of live event, we will be for sure hosting Miller Lite because I feel like anytime they're in the news, it just speaks to pettiness.
This is the. Okay, we gotta find a contact at Miller Lite.
Yeah, yeah. We need to
And
talk
then
to
we can
somebody.
give away free beer on our podcast, and it will be a whole full circle moment.
I love it. I was almost going to buy like Miller Lite Christmas merch, but I didn't. And now I regret it. I'm not even gonna lie.
Wow,
So-
that's depressing. So that's your free beer of the week. We don't have it every week, but when it's there, it's here.
Yeah.
Was that
Wow, dude.
incredible?
We're back. We're so back.
Now we're rolling into like our main topic, which everyone's probably like, we answered a million questions. Why aren't you talking about it yet? So John, why don't you kick it off? I'm tangled in
Yeah,
wires.
absolutely. So when we were bringing back our podcast, we decided that we want to have like a main topic every week, something we can all talk about, something we can dive into. For sure, something we don't know like too much about. You know, we're not pretending to be experts in any field, but
No.
at the end of the day, something we can kind of work through together and understand that even though we may not know everything about it, we can hear about it. We can learn together and we can go through it and kind of just talk about it.
Right.
So Erica and I, over the last couple of weeks, have been brainstorming some honestly pretty great ideas, like some pretty funny ones that I'm just really excited to get to. But the first week back, we decided we need to establish a foundation, right?
Right.
And with our podcast being back and kind of like we were talking about before, just feeling like we're almost there, you know, feeling like we're, especially during this year, like you may not be at the right place you want to be in life. You may be looking at other people and feeling like people are ahead of you. That's something that sometimes we feel all the time. And we wanted to establish a foundation of being able to talk about that because I hate ignoring that and pretending like that doesn't exist and pretending like we're good and that kind of thing doesn't really weigh heavily on your mind.
I also think a lot of people look at our jobs and think, oh, they got everything. And it's like, there's still so much more that we would love to do. And radio is sometimes slower moving, sometimes immediate. And it's just like, you just got to wait it out often. And that's kind of,
I feel like
where we're at, I guess.
That's a great point. I think there are a lot of careers that may be slow moving or fast moving. And it's kind of hard to be like, hey, I've been putting in work this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And then this guy just like blew up out of nowhere. You know what I mean? It's like kind of taking shortcuts because there is no one path.
Totally.
And I get it. Like we work for an admirable radio show that, I mean, I've personally wanted to work for my entire life.
Same.
And although that feels cool, the reality of it is like there's still so much more to go. Like in no way are we there yet.
No, this isn't like our dust off our boots, kick them up. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm not sure what these analogies are, but
bust open a Miller Lite, dude.
Right. We're not leaning back in our chair like, all right, well, we did it. So
totally. And I think that's true for a lot of people right now. Like maybe you look at someone else and you're like, man, people maybe think I have it, but I'm looking at someone else and they look like they have it. And I guarantee that most of the time that's not the case either.
Of course.
So we decided let's dive into that a little bit. Let's go through some polls. Let's see where you guys are at and kind of get some feedback. So the very first thing we asked was we took a poll of how many of you guys were right where you thought you would be at this point in your life, or how many of you were not even close to where you thought you'd be at this age.
Right.
And to no surprise, 89% of the listeners that took this poll said they were nowhere near where they thought they'd be at this age. You know?
Right. And
11% said they were right where they expected to be.
Which, bravo, 11%.
Yeah. Also, what's that feel like?
Yeah, I'm very curious. But I think what's interesting is like, it's obviously a mix of every piece of your life. So like when I was 15, I had thoughts on where I'd be relationship wise, where I'd be in terms of like living near my family maybe, or where I'd be in terms of my career, and like all of those things. Honestly, I don't think one of them is accurate. Or like what I had planned for. I definitely was like, I'm gonna get married at 27 and have kids at like 29. Like that's not happening. So
I mean, you better hurry up.
Yeah, there's no way
that living
I could
boyfriend at
get married at 27. I have like a month and a half left.
Totally.
I guess never say never. But yeah, I think it's like you have to think about people who are saying nowhere near. Not only is it maybe one part of their life, it's all of it.
Exactly. So I figured that there were two main areas in your life that you would want to be on track. It's either your personal life or your professional life. And obviously both matter to you.
Right.
But if you had to pick one of them to be on track with where you thought you would be at this point, which one would you personally pick?
Are you asking me?
And I mean, I am asking you because when I asked everyone, I was actually surprised that it was pretty much a 50-50 split. Like it was one or the other.
Super surprised too. And you know what? Tammy actually texted me. My friend Tammy, who's been on the show before, she said that she kind of thought she was confused by the question. And she was like, wouldn't your professional life have to be where you want it to be in order to live the personal life you wanted, like to go on the vacations, to support the kids, whatever? And I'm like, I think there's a difference between providing for yourself, like monetarily, and having the career you want.
I agree 100%.
And so when I said that, she was like, oh, I may have answered differently then. So for some of you, you may have not quite understood. For me, and this may be surprising, but I would rather my personal life was more where I want or where I hoped it would be.
I thought you were going to say that too. And my personal answer was going to be the professional life.
Yeah.
Which is good because just we never agree on anything.
We never agree. We cannot.
Which is good. So
yeah.
I mean, both of them come with challenges, and I'm sure we'll get to that in just a minute here.
Yeah.
But that was my very first question I wanted to know is like, what is one of the hardest challenges of not being where you thought you'd be at this point in your life? Like, what is it that makes it so difficult? What is the hardest part about not reaching that goal yet, being almost there?
These answers made me feel so much better, by the way.
Dude, amazing. And first of all, I just want to say too, so many people answered this.
I know. It was really nice.
I was like so surprised. Like, thank you, first of all, for taking the time because these were like not just polls.
Right.
These were, hey, type out an answer if you can. And we had so many answers that we literally could not put them all in this podcast. Like, we can't even read all the answers because there are so many.
Right.
And the fact that you just felt like you wanted to take the time to answer a couple of these just is awesome. So thank you so much for doing that.
I think the one that probably I relate to the most is actually the first one here is the like watching my friends get married and have kids when I'm just like, I don't want to say I'm like single as a Pringle, but you know, and one person said, I dead ass thought I would be married with children by now. And like I said, I totally was like, yeah, I'll get married at 27, you know. No, I'm almost 28. But I'm curious, do you get that, like, that feeling? Because I don't feel like as many of your friends are in that stage of their life.
Totally. So, I mean, this was a two-part thing for me. At first, I think back to growing up, and obviously I think a lot of us when we were in junior high or high school, we thought that mid-20s was like when you were going to get married, you know, when you were going to like start this whole kids thing and building a family. And although that's true for a lot of people, I think as you go into your 20s, you realize that mid-20s is not as old as you once thought it was.
No,
you know?
No.
So there was that, there's that, not necessarily disappointment, because I'm not disappointed, but those priorities change.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think I'm disappointed. I'm just like,
right.
Oh, that's not what I thought. Yeah.
So I think only one thing scares me about it. So, you know, I was fresh out of a relationship last year, at the end of last year, and it made me think about these things. It's like, hey, if I'm starting over from square one again, you got to meet someone. You got to date them for a while before the marriage thing even comes to play. And then I want to be married and then have kids. And like, it's this whole timeline. And if I'm approaching, you know, the late 20s of my life,
yeah,
you just get older and older, you know?
Right?
And I think as a guy, we have less fears than women do, you know, because we can pretty much have kids at, you know, any age.
Right.
You just pop them out, dude, which is super cool.
We pop them out.
Yeah, you pop them out.
Yeah.
We like, we'll insert the ingredients.
Okay, done.
Anyway, I'm less worried about that. Like, I really am.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I am worried about is being too old when my kids grow up. I think that's like one of my only fears, you know, because eventually I do want kids, but I don't want to be like an old grandpa, like learning to walk at the same time as my kids. You know what I mean?
That's not going to happen. You'd have to literally not have kids until you're like 60 for that to be like
a possibility.
Like, think about even if you're 40, by the time your kids are 40 or 80. So it's like and that's when they're 40, you know, like you're good.
Huh.
But I get it, because, you know, I'm like, so in like 10 years, I'm going to have to like think about my options. But then I remember that a lot happens in 10 years.
A lot.
10 years ago, I was about to graduate from high school. So
one of the other top answers here was another one. There was so many that said something along these lines, but they were saying that student loan debt and rent are so expensive, especially in California. Some people were saying, I want a master's for my dream job, but I literally cannot take any more student loan debt.
Right.
And that's like a struggle, you know, like I can't imagine. Like,
I mean,
luckily we don't need a master's for this job. I mean,
true that.
You arguably even need a bachelor's, to be honest.
Right, totally. And we still did it.
Yeah, we still did for society reasons, but.
Yeah, but like, why do you think I'm moving home for a bit?
Yeah.
I'm literally saving money so that I can afford to like live on my own and feel like an adult.
Yeah, someone was saying like moving out in SoCal is so expensive, and it sucks because I'm 27 living with my parents and I want to move out.
Yeah, if it makes you feel a better person, I will be almost 28 when I move back. And that'll be the first time I've lived with my parents in 10 years.
Dude,
so
wild.
That's crazy.
And I know a lot of people like that right now.
Yeah.
And also, if you can, why not?
No shame. Like, just save the money.
For real.
Yeah. Oh, and then I think the other like really big thing is the comparing. Yes. People. I think that is hard because you look at someone else similar to your age. I know I have like a good friend who's on air, but in a smaller market. And then he looks at me and is like, yeah, but you're like producing for Ryan Seacrest. So like, and I'm like, no, you're more ahead. Then he's like, no, you're more ahead. And it's really, if you compare yourselves, you're always going to find something that you're like behind on.
Right. You're always wanting something else that makes you feel like you're going to be more ahead.
Yeah.
There were two answers I really liked. There was one, in the same category. One says, I'm falling behind compared to others my age, and it feels like I'm running out of time. I feel like the running out of time thing just hits me extremely hard because while it's cool that we're chasing this career and that, you know, other people may be chasing your career, at what age do you start freaking out about, hey, maybe this isn't like working out? Like
5 years ago?
Never? Like, you know what I mean? Like, are you going to be 40? I don't know. I feel like that's the question that kind of gets to me. It's like, at what age do you stop? Maybe never. And like, that's maybe the goal. And there's something beautiful about that, about never giving up on the things that you want to do. But at the same time, it's hard to watch your friends like
succeed. And then.
Yes, totally.
No, I get that. I have a lot of friends who were really successful very quickly. And while I think you could look at me and be like, you started working for Ryan at 22. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 22. You're like, that's successful really quickly. And it is. But then the growth stunts and then your friends
From
keep
there.
going and you're like, oh my God, they're making so much money. Like,
Totally.
but I think the key here is realizing that you can restart anything anytime and you can reinvent what your dreams are and it doesn't have to stay the same.
And I love that. And I
Yeah.
think the fear of having friends move on without you, like I'm sure it can be a struggle if you're living a different life than someone who maybe has already settled down having a family and kind of living that like nuclear family life.
Right.
But the way I view it is it's going to be similar to having your back home like high school friends, and then when you move out of that city or you go to college or whatever it was, you kind of become different people. But if you keep those friends, you still hang out sometimes and you keep those relationships, but your interests change.
Yeah.
And I think that can still happen again. Like if you have friends now and some friends are like you're going out friends and some friends you're like building a family friends,
Mhm.
you can still make sure to have those connections with them, but you're going to eventually create a clique of people who are along the same lines as you. And that's
Right.
fine. You can keep both. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Most of your
Rough.
friends are not quite in the like having children phase yet, right?
Most of my immediate friends, like the people I live with for sure, but a
you
lot
have
of the
friends
people
who are
Yeah, I mean, a couple of the friends right now that were in my absolute number one, tier one close friend group.
tier one.
Like they're getting married this year. You know,
Yeah.
and that's awesome. Like I'm extremely happy, but I don't hang out with them as much as I am hanging out with other people simply because we are living different lives. you know?
Totally. Something that I challenge everyone to do, especially like seeing how many people responded with this same thing, is I've found this year, and it's probably because of therapy,
What's up?
I'm able to like celebrate other people without being down on myself.
Nice.
And that's probably the key to happiness, honestly.
It probably is. In fact, that goes into our next part. It's like, what do
Yeah.
you do when you do get down on yourself for not being where you expected? And these are like my favorite answers.
The amount
because
of
I-
responses that said wine.
or cry.
Yeah, which like same.
Yeah, there was like cry and drink, go for a run and cry, definitely
Retail
cry,
therapy and
wine
drinks.
and cry.
Wine and
Yeah.
read a book. Like, did I write these?
Amazing.
I didn't,
Dude, so
for the
good.
record.
So some of the perfect, like the ones that I like the most, this is the one that I kind of relate to, is some of the people that said wallow in the sadness for a bit, be
Mhm.
sad for a day, and then get up the next day, make a list of something I can do to get myself back on track, and then begin that walk.
I
Those
like
were some
that.
of my personal answers because I want to be sad for a minute. You know, like you got to let me be
Totally.
sad, and at the end of the day, you got to do something about it.
You can't just sit there and ignore being sad, or you're just like lying. Like, you're never going to get over it. I think I told you that when you went through the breakup. I was like, you have to be sad, and
Yeah.
then you have to get over it.
Yeah. Otherwise, I feel like you're just delaying it, and it's just gonna come one day, and it's just
Yeah.
like you're, you know. I mean, the way I view this too is like if you go out drinking one night and then you're hungover the next morning, people say you can just drink through the hangover, and does that
Right.
work?
You're
Hell yeah, it
delaying
does.
the hangover.
But you're delaying the hangover. The
Right.
next day, it's gonna be that much worse.
Yeah.
Just experienced
Um,
that last weekend to an extensive level that
Oh,
I was
yeah.
not proud of.
I asked John on Monday how he was doing. It was not great.
Dude, I have not drank in 2 days in a row in a while.
Yeah.
So
Well,
rough.
the other answer here, remember how far I've come, the experience it has brought me, remember great things that come out of the unexpected. And I also think add to that, remember the things you have to be grateful for, even in these moments, because also something I've taken from therapy, wow, is like sometimes you just have to be like, hold on, stop. What am I grateful for? Okay, resume.
Totally.
So
I feel that.
and speaking of the good that came out of it, you know, we asked people like, what are the good things that came from not being where you thought you'd be? And it's like the friends I've made gave me time to find the person I love. I
Dude.
love that answer because if I had married the guy that it's hilarious to think about. Basically, long story short, it would have ended really badly. So don't rush.
Don't rush. I like that.
Yeah.
I liked the answer that said learning all the things I'm capable of accomplishing on my own.
True.
I loved that. You know, I
Yeah.
feel like self-growth is one of the most important things you can do when going through a hard time in life.
Yeah.
Because if you can take yourself through a hard time, like possibilities are endless.
Who's going
you
to
know?
stop you? Yeah.
Who's going to stop you? You
No
know?
one.
Dude, love it.
I also like, obviously, I love these. I gravitate towards learning how much fun single can be. I also think that's important to ever having a good partnership.
I agree 100%. And I'm learning now that
Mhm.
I'm really enjoying being single, and not for the you can go date a million people reason,
Right.
but for the I'm living my life right now
Mhm.
reason. You know what I mean? Like it's so cool to just be able to go out and do anything I want to do,
Right.
or dive into work and not have to answer to people, and just kind of like really discovering myself and the things that make me happy and following whatever catches my eye. And I'm really enjoying that.
And I think that's like exactly how you end up with the life that you actually want.
Totally.
And not just a life that you created with someone that maybe wasn't right for you.
Right. One of these answers said, I think I became happier than I thought I would be if I followed what I originally planned. Dude.
Cool.
This is what I like too, is I think that a lot of the times when your life doesn't necessarily follow the path you're supposed to follow, I think you get things that were more beneficial in the end anyway.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think of, sorry, I paused because I'm like, this is personal to not me. It's personal to someone else, but I think it's fine. My sister, who recently got married, I am certain she never expected to meet and fall in love with and marry a man who already had a son. Mm-hmm. But how incredible is this addition to her life and to really our family's lives? To have this, like, I mean, he was like 4 when he came into our lives, and now he's older, and it's like so much
he's
fun.
Such a huge part now.
He's a huge part of our family.
Life without him.
Yeah, and I just think something like that, like, sure, that's not what you planned, but it turns out that can be so positive.
I think my favorite answer so far, and there was obviously we've liked a lot of these, but my favorite one was the thing that helps me through it is I appreciate this current place and time because I know that when it's gone, and there will be things that I'll miss about it one day.
So real.
Dude, I feel like nostalgia hits me so hard. That's why I love taking pictures. I love taking videos. Like, I'm the guy that will always pull my phone out and take one video of a concert, like just one.
Just to have it.
Because I'll go back and like look. I really will, because I know that I'll miss those times.
Right. Yeah, I think that's true. And every time, like, I look back on so many things with a lot of even when like things were bad, right? Like moving to LA with no money, no friends, whatever. That was not a great time in life. But I look back on that time and I'm like, oh, everything was so simple. You know, everything was so much. I didn't do anything because I didn't have money.
I saw this TikTok the other day, and it was like, I guess some like thought experiment by Alan Watts, which is like a cool writer who has a bunch of cool things to say a bunch of the time. Okay. Anyway, so it's this thought experiment that says, if you imagine before bed every night what your perfect life would look like if you were the genie, you could have all the positive feelings you want, all the things that you want in life. Imagine it every night before you go to bed. Eventually, after months and months of doing that, of imagining the same exact life over and over, you're going to want variation. You're going to get bored. So eventually you're going to start taking some risks. Eventually you're going to start having some faults, because if you're just getting everything you want all the time, the good doesn't feel as good anymore because you don't remember what it's like to feel bad. And sometimes the greatest feelings come because you know what the bad feels like and you appreciate the good that much more. So eventually, he thinks that you would eventually just dream up your own life because you're excited for the ups and downs that come with it.
That's beautiful.
TikTok, dude. TikTok.
Dude, TikTok is a problem. Not actually. I just love it so much.
I'm recently on Instagram Reels. I feel like I'm enjoying that more because my TikTok like messed up my algorithm and now I'm not enjoying all the videos. But Instagram's got me down.
Well, there you go.
There it is.
I think just my final piece on the whole expectations versus reality thing is like, we all have these timelines that we thought we'd want. And I think probably no one has followed it exactly. So stop thinking like, well, she's getting everything she wants. But also I think the people who never, like who had blinders on and only ever followed that path, even if it varied a little bit. But like, if you never like took the blinders off and went, oh my God, what's over there? Like you're missing. John, did you just look because you actually thought that something was over there?
I don't know. You caught me in a moment.
Oh my God, that was incredible. He looks over so ferociously and I'm like, no, it's a metaphor.
Look, dude,
but if you're never willing to like see what else is out there in the whole view of the world, then you're missing a lot.
So much.
So it's okay to not be on the same path. Believe me.
Well, now we are on the same path. We are starting this podcast off on the same path. We're all on this almost path going on.
We
got cool things coming every week. And I'm going to bring us to our last cool thing that we're going to talk about this week before we get you out of here.
Yeah, get ready to chug a beer right now.
I'm so ready. I wish I would have brought a beer to this
Me
podcast.
too.
All right, so, with just the Super Bowl days away, it's the biggest news right now, One
Sure.
of the world's biggest questions is, who's going to take the Super Bowl? Is it going to be young Patrick Mahomes or America's national treasure, Tom Brady?
America's national treasure is a huge overstatement.
I mean, he might be the greatest of all time. He might be. It's
Sure.
debatable. Anyways, as the hit sports podcast that we are,
Right.
I felt like it was only fair that we share our predictions and our knowledge with the world about who we think is going to take this year's Super Bowl. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I made a pros and cons list
Okay.
of Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady.
Cool. I have
And
some of my own to add. So you go.
This is amazing because the winner of this pros and cons list is going to be our predicted winner of this year's Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
Welcome to the Almost an Air podcasts.
I couldn't
Prediction
hear
for
what
this
was
year's-
happening.
Oh, you couldn't?
No.
Oh, now I'm going to have to redo it. Welcome to the pros and cons of Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. All of these pros and cons will be assigned points, and we're going to tally them up at the end, and the winner with the most points is going to be the Almost on Air predicted winner of the Super Bowl in 2021.
We're such good sports announcers.
Dude, we're so good. Oh, my God.
Yes, this is
gonna
a
be amazing.
very serious matter, and
So here's the thing about this, too.
it's really about who's hotter. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. This is coming from someone who got last place in fantasy.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah.
I know.
But also, it's
get-
coming
I
from
know.
someone who got first place in fantasy.
I know. So you're
So-
getting the whole spectrum here, you know?
I have a trophy,
And-
but I can't reach it right now.
Here's what I was thinking. You can go on to Sports Center and you can like learn facts, you know? But like facts didn't do me right in fantasy. I was listening to facts. I was listening to sports opinions with like
Sure.
passing yards and all that kind of stuff. And you want to know how much it helped me? Zero. You want to know how many games I won? One. The entire season of fantasy. So I don't
Okay.
care about facts anymore. I'm going to go based on my personal preferences and your personal preferences.
Okay.
And we're just going to go through the pros and cons of Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. And we're just going to decide who we think is going to take the winner, the Super Bowl this year. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So we're just going to start things off with cons, dude, for Tom
Great.
Brady. We're starting Tom Brady. We're going cons because I just have a huge personal con that really pisses me off. He was my first draft quarterback this year in fantasy, and I played him the first 3 games,
And
and
he
I lost
sucked.
all 3 because he tanked them. And then I finally switched for Josh Allen, and he did amazing, and I still lost games. So I don't understand. However, still a con, and that's minus 67 points for Tom Brady.
Oh, minus 67. Okay.
Minus 67. I got a
Um,
calculator here.
Do you want me to go with my con for Tom Brady?
100%.
Tom Brady looks like a serial killer. And
He kind of does.
there's no explanation needed. That is a fact. And I don't know. It feels like minus 81 points for him.
Minus 81. Wait,
Yeah, because
67.
it's scary. If he
plus
woke me up and
81.
if he was the man laying next to me in bed at night, I'd be horrified.
I mean,
So-
he'd also be rich if he was a man laying next to you in bed. So that's
Interesting
kind of a pro.
thought.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Next con. He's old. And this can be viewed as a pro or a con. However, getting old is my biggest fear, so that's definitely going to be a con, and that's minus 13.5 points.
Oh,
13
13 and a half. Okay.
We're at
Um,
161.56.
I actually didn't write any other cons for I kept my
Oh.
list short. There were no other cons for Tom Brady because that one was so offensive.
That's fine. I got 2 more.
Great.
Next one, used to play for New England, which turns out is not a city. I checked. That's fake. You can't go to New England. That's not a thing. I am a Red Sox fan, so if you
Mhm.
would have said Boston, sure, I'd be on board. But New England, not a real city. That's a con. Minus 26 points.
Okay.
And finally, last one, he currently plays in Tampa Bay, which is in Florida. And Florida, that's definitely a con. Can't be a pro.
Womp, womp, womp. Although they
See you
are the
later.
first team to get to play the Super Bowl game in their own stadium.
I did hear that. That is actually good news.
Pretty neat.
That could be a pro. That could be a pro.
Sure.
So we're at 1,087 negative for Tom Brady.
Ooh.
But let's go over to the pros.
How
Let's
did-
go see where the pros are at for Tom Brady. Should we?
Sure.
All right, first one. Although he's old, he defies his age. So at first it was a con, but like he's in great shape. And I feel like that's
Mhm.
inspiration to me who doesn't want to get old, that maybe I too can be in great shape and
Sure.
defy physics when I get to that age.
Sure.
What do you think? Yeah? Okay, cool. That's
Cool.
at least 100 points for Tom Brady.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right.
Pro, I think Tom Brady is actually really sweet with his family. And I know people have issues with him kissing his kids. I think that he's probably a very, very good dad and a good husband to Giselle.
Wow.
And really,
Nice.
it's all about being a good person at the end of the day. So that's plus 100 also.
Plus 100. I like
Yeah.
100. 100 is good. All right, next one. If Tom Brady wins this year, he will individually have more wins than any NFL franchise in Super Bowl history.
That
is just-
interesting.
Embarrassing.
Yeah,
That's
it
like an embarrassing fact.
Yeah.
That should make no sense. I'm going to give him at least 500 points for that. That's
Oh,
incredible.
shoot. Okay.
Yeah, that's unreal.
I have no other pros for him.
Okay, I have another pro. His first name only has 3 letters in it. Big fan.
Oh
Big
my
fan.
God.
That's at least 15 points. Nice, Tom Brady.
15.
And finally, he's currently on the Buccaneers, which are basically pirates. And I feel like Pirates of the Caribbean, pretty good movie. That's at least 85 points.
You're so
Pro.
lame.
Grand total of 885 points. So he's definitely in the negative here.
He's in like the negative 300 something.
Yeah, minus 1187. Yep, 302.
Wow.
I don't know if my calculation's been accurate, but it's about 300.
That's okay.
Okay.
Now on to Patrick Mahomes, yeah?
Let's move on to Patrick Mahomes.
You want to start with cons?
Let's start with the pros for Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
Let's start on a good note. Let's just switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
First pro,
Yeah, go.
he's young, which is like dope. Good
He's
for him, dude. He's like
younger than
24 or
us.
25. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually probably a con that he's younger than us. Kind of
Well,
pisses me off.
Wait
I'm
till you
looking
get
at
to
his-
my cons.
He's ahead of me. What did we
Yep.
just talk about?
Wait till you get to my cons.
I'll give him
Um,
85 for being young. That's pretty
Okay. My pro is he's about to have a baby girl, and I think he's going to be a very, very sweet girl dad.
Mm.
And also, he's not a player, which maybe that's two things. He's not a player. Like, he's been with Brittany, as far as we know, he's not a player, but he's been with Brittany for like ever. So, and they're getting married. They have a baby girl on the way. It's all very exciting. Honestly, plus 300.
I love it. I love it.
Like,
All right,
girl
plus
dads
300.
rule.
Good for you, Patrick.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. I feel like he's like low key a frat star. Like I
Huh.
saw a video of him at a Post Malone concert, and like someone threw a beer and he caught it and just chugged it in the middle of the concert.
Right,
so
right, right.
sick. So sick. That's
Pro,
only
he
like
could be
50
our
points,
friend, basically.
though. He could be our friend. Yeah, he
Yeah.
could kick it. 50 points. What's up? You have another one?
Pro, he's won a Super Bowl before, right? Last year.
So does Tom Brady. So I feel like they would both get points for that.
Sure, but he's so young and he's already won one.
Oh.
So pro, just give him like 22 points for that.
Okay. I'll give him 2
Okay.
I like it. I'm not opposed. Next one, he has hella money. He had like essentially the largest contract in sports at $450 million. It's like loaded. Like,
Right.
I mean, I'm only going to give him 1 point for that because I feel like
Oh.
that kind of just upsets me.
Just +1. Okay.
Yeah, plus one. And finally, Patrick Mahomes, dude. He brought us Catrick Mahomes, a longtime star of the podcast.
Of course.
And arguably top 3 all-time kitten of the week.
Yep.
I mean, let's just put a shout out to Catrick Mahomes. He's at Sly James the Cat if you want to follow him on Instagram.
Right.
Dude, this cat is just like unreal.
Maybe the
I'm
first-
loving his posts.
First ever repeat kitten of the week.
I mean, he might need it. If they win the Super Bowl, we'll give it to him.
Yeah.
So Catrick Mahomes, definitely a star. We're going to give him 50 points.
All right. What's total?
All right, he's at 508.
All right.
Nice.
I
All right,
only
so
have
let's
one
go-
con for him. So
Oh, nice. Okay. I have a couple of cons for
do you
him.
want me to kick it off?
Kick it off.
He is younger than me and got a $450 million contract.
Yeah, that's a huge con.
And I am also wondering who in the world needs that much money.
I mean, for sure no one, but also
Seems
everyone.
greedy.
Yeah, that's definitely.
So I'm going to
greedy.
negative 91 points for him.
I like it. Negative 91. Okay. Oh, I messed this up.
Oh,
Sorry,
boy.
91. There we go. All right, 91 points. My next con is that he puts ketchup on steaks. And I just like, that's not a thing. That's
I've done
not a
that.
thing. There was a commercial that aired last year of him putting ketchup on steaks because apparently he likes ketchups on a bunch of stuff. And if you're not a psychopath, you can't put ketchup on steaks.
I need you
That's
to
just,
not
like, the
call it
facts.
ketchups, though.
Did I say ketchups?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, multiple ketchups. You can't put
Okay.
any of them on steak.
Sure.
That's a hard no. That's at least minus 300 points.
Wow.
Nice. Okay, cool. The next one,
Sorry.
Patrick Mahomes like kind of sounds like a duck. He's like a frog voice.
No,
Check
I
this
never
out.
heard him speak.
Yeah, I have. I've heard it since I was like
That's real. That's legit. Hey, listen,
Yeah, I have. I've heard it since I was in like 7th grade.
come on, dude. Come on.
Imagine that man saying things to you in the night.
Yeah, whispering in your
No,
ear.
it's a hard pass.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I have.
Stop.
I've heard it since I
No.
was in like 7th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's got to be a lot of points. That's at least like 300 points. Oh my God. That was kind of a lot,
It
actually.
was-
Let's see. Younger than me. Wait, you already put that one. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll pass it. And then last one, he plays in Kansas City, which is actually not in Kansas. Another fake city thing here.
Mm,
It's in Missouri, which like doesn't make any sense. That's
Right.
very misleading.
there is a
I don't know
Kansas
some of
City,
these football
Kansas.
teams, but like New England, don't know where that is.
Right.
You know, Kansas City, I still don't know where that is. It's like in Missouri, but like that doesn't
Sure.
make any sense. Give him like minus 10 points for that.
Okay.
681 minus. Oh wait, he's negative. He's in the negative. Was Tom Brady in the negative?
Tom Brady was negative 302.
Oh wow, this one's negative. What's 508 minus 681?
So under
100
100.
and something. Oh my God, Patrick Mahomes.
All right.
He's our winner.
Our prediction for Super Bowl LV, which I can't even remember what that stands for. 25? No,
Sure.
way more than 25. Never mind.
You give me any number and I will like agree with you right
Super
now.
Bowl LV is the Chiefs.
Patrick Mahomes. All right,
Patrick
let's see.
Mahomes.
You have it here. Our pros and cons list prediction for the Almost On Air podcast. Let's find out if we're accurate.
Let's find out next week.
We'll
We'll
have to see you on
update.
Sunday.
All
All right, before we get out of here,
what?
I'd like to open up the floor for some open discussion. Hello. Yep, welcome. I would just like to say that we have a Spotify playlist that you can find. You can click the link in our Instagram bio. We update it every week.
Yes.
Put a couple of new songs on there that we're currently into, so check that out.
We've also got Instagram at Almost On Air, YouTube.
Nice.
What are we on
YouTube.
YouTube?
I don't think YouTube has like
No, but we're just
look
like
up
just
Almost
search
On Air.
Almost On Air. Okay, great.
Like we're on there. You know, there's not a lot of Almost On Air podcasts.
And of course, subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcast, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever. Just click that subscribe button. And John, my last question for you. What will you be drinking this Super Bowl Sunday?
Wow. Miller Lite, probably.
Really?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna buy
Great.
some Miller Lite just in theme, you know?
Good for you. I
got
will
to.
be probably drinking a Big Wave, but I'm
Ooh,
also
like
probably
Kona Big Wave?
yeah, is my
Dude,
favorite.
those- I mean,
But maybe some Miller Lite as well. And if I go crazy, maybe a mixed drink.
whoa, take it
So,
easy, all right? You gotta
catch
warn
me
us
on
before
Monday.
you throw some fire like that.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. Bye.